Hello, I'm Dr. Don Henderson, Director of the Doctor of Healthcare Administration program at LECOM. Today, we'll explore how creating a blue zone in your community can help people live longer, healthier, and happier lives by adopting proven lifestyle and social practices from the world's longest lived population. In 2025, the average male in the United States is projected to live to be 76 years old. The average female will live to 81 for a combined average life expectancy of 79 years. However, a few years ago, demographers and scientists noted that there were certain communities around the world where the average age was at least 10 years longer, 89, with it not being uncommon for certain residents to live to be 100 years or longer. These residents were still able to carry out the activities of daily life, ADL, without assistance. In 2004, a researcher named Dan Buettner coined the term blue zone to define this phenomenon. The 5 original blue zone areas identified were Icaria, Greece, Loma Linda, California, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia, Italy. Since 2004, Buettner has been an advocate for communities around the world and in the US to adopt many of these practices as a local initiative. In order to facilitate adoption, Buettner has created a modern interpretation of the research findings suitable for adoption in a community-wide effort. The first blue zone principle is to move naturally. The world's longest-lived people do not exercise. In blue zone regions, Buettner's team observed that people were nudged into moving about every 20 minutes. For example, people were gardening. They needed their own bread, and they used hand-operated tools. Their houses were not full of conveniences. When they did go out, it was almost always on foot. Movement is engineered into their daily lives. The second blue zone principle is to downshift. Stress is part of the human condition, and people in blue zone areas suffer the same stresses that others do. However, the people living in these regions have daily rituals that reduce stress, which included activities such as prayer, ancestor veneration, napping, and a happy hour. Also, people in blue zone regions consume moderate amounts of wine, most commonly 2 glasses per day. The third blue zone principle is a plant-based diet. 95% of 100-year-olds in the blue zone areas ate a primarily plant-based diet, including plenty of beans, whole grains, and sourdough breads, rather than breads that were leavened with yeast. The fourth blue zone principle involved the 80% full rule. The longest-lived people have strategies to keep themselves from overeating. These include eating slowly so that the full feeling can reach the brain, not having televisions on in the kitchen, and eating with family members instead of alone. In all 5 blue zone areas, people eat a large breakfast and a smaller lunch, and dinner is always the smallest meal of the day. The next blue zone principle is loved ones first. Centenarians spend a lot of time and effort working on their relationships with their spouses and children. Children are likely to keep their aging parents nearby or in the same household, and will consider them to be fonts of wisdom that will favor their own survival. The last blue zone principle is faith-based communities. People in blue zone who regularly attend a faith-based service live on average 7 years longer than their counterparts who do not. In conclusion, although modern medicine is important, communities which adopt some or all of the blue zone concepts have a significant opportunity to increase the lifespan and also their happiness, well-being, and overall quality of life for their local population. Since 2004, over 75 cities and counties have embarked on a blue zone project. These include 4 cities in California, 2 cities in Florida, 15 cities in Iowa, and 1 city each in Arizona, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Washington. It can be done. Please consider this strategy for adoption in your local community. If you enjoyed what you heard today and want to dive deeper into topics like this, consider applying to LECOM's Doctor of Healthcare Administration program. Join us and take the next step in advancing your leadership and expertise in healthcare.